The 2026 World Cup is happening right now in America. The stadiums are full, the cameras are rolling. Politicians are calling it a once-in-a-generation economic win for their cities. Local governments are pointing to billions in projected economic activity. The narrative is everywhere. Every single host city in World Cup history has lost money. Every one. Not most of them, not the ones that planned poorly. All of them, without exception. And the mechanism that makes that happen is not an accident. It is not mismanagement. It is the business model. Today, we are going to show you exactly how it works. Not the highlight reel, the financial structure underneath it.
To understand why host cities always lose, you first need to understand what FIFA actually is. FIFA is not a sports organization that happens to make money. FIFA is a revenue extraction machine that happens to organize a sports tournament. That distinction matters enormously when you look at how the money flows. FIFA generates revenue from four main sources: television rights, corporate sponsorships, ticket sales, and licensing. The 2026 World Cup is projected to generate approximately $11 billion in total revenue, the largest figure in the history of the tournament. Here is the critical question. Where does that $11 billion go? Not to the host cities, not to the host countries, not to the local economies that are providing the infrastructure, the security, the transportation, and the workforce that makes this tournament possible right now. It goes to FIFA by contractual design. Let's look at what the numbers actually show from previous tournaments. Brazil hosted the 2014 World Cup. The Brazilian government spent approximately $15 billion on the tournament. FIFA took home over $4 billion in pure profit from the same event. The stadiums built for the tournament, several constructed in cities with no professional football teams, now cost Brazilian taxpayers millions per year in maintenance. Some sit nearly empty. The Amazonia Arena in Manaus cost $300 million to build. It hosts an average of one event per month. South Africa hosted in 2010. The government spent $3.6 billion on infrastructure and stadiums. FIFA generated $3.7 billion in revenue from the tournament. South Africa received $100 million from FIFA, less than 3% of what the organization took out of the country. The stadiums left behind cost South African taxpayers $30 million per year to maintain. Qatar 2022 is in a category of its own. Estimated total spending exceeded $220 billion. FIFA generated its largest profit in history. The economic legacy for the host country consists primarily of infrastructure that serves a population too small to fill the stadiums regularly. The pattern is identical across every tournament. The host bears the cost. FIFA captures the revenue. The gap between the two is absorbed by taxpayers. And right now, in the summer of 2026, that same pattern is running inside American cities. So how does the mechanism actually work? Why do cities keep signing contracts that produce this outcome? There are 3 clauses in the hosting agreement that explain everything, and none of them made the local news when the bid was announced. The first clause is the tax exemption. When a city signs a hosting agreement with FIFA, they agree to exempt FIFA and all of its commercial partners from local and national taxes for the duration of the tournament. That means the $11 billion in revenue that FIFA is generating right now, ticket sales, sponsorship payments, broadcasting deals, flows entirely out of the host country without a single dollar going to the local tax base. In the United States, this exemption covers federal, state, and local taxes. Los Angeles, Dallas, New York, Miami, and every other host city agreed to this condition as a requirement of receiving the tournament. It was not negotiable. The second clause is infrastructure responsibility. FIFA requires host cities to meet specific infrastructure standards as a condition of hosting.
stadium capacity, training facilities, transportation links, media centers, security perimeters, all of it funded by the host, none of it reimbursed by FIFA. In the United States, several host stadiums required significant upgrades to meet FIFA standards. Those upgrades were funded by a combination of public money and private investment, with the public portion coming directly from city and state budgets. FIFA provided the checklist. The American taxpayer provided the funding.
The third clause is revenue allocation. Every dollar generated inside a FIFA-designated venue during the tournament belongs to FIFA. Ticket revenue, concession licensing fees, in-stadium advertising, hospitality packages. The host city provides the venue, the staff, the security, and the infrastructure. FIFA collects the income that venue generates. These three clauses together create a structure that is remarkably consistent in its outcome. The host city puts in the capital. FIFA extracts the revenue. The city is left with the debt and the maintenance costs.
Now, the standard defense of hosting is the economic multiplier effect. The argument goes like this. Yes, the direct costs are high, but the indirect economic activity, tourism spending, hotel revenue, restaurant sales, media exposure, more than compensates for the direct costs. The data does not support this argument. A comprehensive study by the International Monetary Fund examining every World Cup and Olympic Games between 1964 and 2016 found that host countries showed no statistically significant increase in GDP growth in the years following the event compared to non-host countries of similar size and development. The tourism surge is real, but temporary. It lasts for the duration of the tournament and then reverses. Economists call this the displacement effect. Regular tourists actively avoid host cities during major events because of crowds, inflated prices, and reduced availability. The net tourism gain is consistently smaller than projected.
The media exposure benefit is real, but unquantifiable. And unquantifiable benefits cannot service the very quantifiable debt that stadium construction leaves behind. So here is where we are right now. The World Cup is being played in American stadiums today. The broadcast deals are generating billions. The sponsorship packages are being activated. FIFA is on track to record the largest revenue figure in the history of the tournament. And the financial structure underneath all of it is identical to every tournament that came before. The host cities agreed to the tax exemption. They funded the infrastructure upgrades. They accepted the revenue allocation terms. The mechanism is already running. What the sports media is not telling you right now, while the goals are being scored and the crowds are celebrating, is that the economic legacy of this tournament will not be decided on the pitch. It will be decided in the budget spreadsheets of city governments in 2027, 2028, and 2030, when the cameras are gone, when FIFA has moved on to the next host, and when the maintenance bills for the stadiums start arriving. The stadium got built. FIFA is getting paid. Your city is getting the debt. That is not cynicism. That is the historical record of every World Cup ever hosted, playing out again right now in your city.
And understanding that record is the difference between watching the tournament and understanding what it actually costs. If you want to understand the financial structures behind the events and institutions that shape your economy, the real numbers, not the press release, hit subscribe, because that is exactly what this channel was built to do.